Welcome to the KZGN News. Today we're bringing news from Gene Fuller, Caltrans, Ridgecrest Police, the Chamber of Commerce, and much more.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News crew.
Thanks for joining us for the news. I'm Tom Whitnick. Here's news affecting Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley. State Senator Gene Fuller provided the following report. SCR 15 establishes July 25, 2015 as National Day of the Cowboy. The National Day of the Cowboy is a day set aside for Americans to celebrate the contribution of the cowboy and cowgirl to America's culture and heritage. There are approximately 656,000 cattle ranchers in the U.S. today, contributing to the economy of virtually every county in the country. Membership in cowboy-related organizations transcends geographic boundaries, gender, political affiliations, ethnicity, and all generations. Cowboy life and folklore continues to be idealized and celebrated in its own unique brand of music, film, poetry, art, television, photography, literature, and recreation. The sport of rodeo has transformed everyday tasks of the cowboy into many entertaining events for spectators and participants. America's cowboy is a world-renowned icon of honesty, hard work, integrity, and tenacity. The cowboy is a legendary and heroic figure whose lifestyle and character can hold lessons for us all.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. I rise to present SCR 15, celebrating National Day of the Cowboy and Cowgirls. We're going to make sure we women add that on. The National Day of the Cowboy and Cowgirls is a day set aside for Americans to celebrate the contribution of the cowboy and cowgirl to America's culture and heritage. Membership in Western cowboy-related organizations transcends geographic boundaries, gender, political affiliations, ethnicity, and all generations. America's cowboy is a world-renowned icon of honesty, hard work, integrity, and tenacity. The cowboy is a legendary figure that is celebrated at events throughout the United States. Every day, tasks of the cowboy and cowgirls have been transformed into many entertaining events for spectators and participants. Rodeo is the 7th most watched sport in America. I tip my hat to the cowboy and cowgirls out there, and I respectfully ask you to join me in remembering our Western heritage and honoring today's cowboys and cowgirls. Thank you.
Thank you, Gene Fuller, for celebrating the cowboy on Saturday. In news from Caltrans, they report that an elevated section of Interstate 10 collapsed Sunday amid heavy rains in a remote desert area of California, leaving one driver injured, stranding many others, and preventing travel for thousands by cutting off the main corridor in both directions between Southern California and Arizona. A bridge for eastbound traffic about 15 feet above a normally dry wash about 50 miles west of the Arizona state line gave way and ended up in the flooding water below, the California Highway Patrol said, blocking all traffic headed towards Arizona. The westbound section of the freeway near the tiny town of Desert Center remained intact, but traffic was being stopped while it was inspected for safety. And a pair of small nearby highways that could possibly serve as detours were also closed. No time frame has been given for when the westbound side would be reopened or for when the eastbound side might be repaired. That means those seeking to travel between California and Arizona late Sunday or early Monday would be forced to go hundreds of miles out of their way to Interstate 8 to the south or Interstate 40 to the north. Transportation officials recommended travelers on the east side of the collapse use U.S. Highway 95 to get to the other freeways and State Route 247 and 86 on the California side. One driver had been rescued from a pickup truck that crashed in the collapse and was taken to the hospital with moderate injuries. The Riverside County Fire Department said a passenger from the truck was able to get out without help and wasn't hurt. The 10 is a dire situation. California Transportation spokeswoman Terry Kasinga said the rains came amid a second day of showers and thunderstorms in southern and central California that were setting rainfall records in what is usually a dry month. Saturday's rainfall broke records in at least 11 locations, including 5 places that had the most rain ever recorded on any day in July. Caltrans says this bridge will be under repair for some time. They recommend everyone use alternate routes around the area until the repairs are completed. In news from the Ridgecrest Police Department, the Ridgecrest Police Department announced that a DUI and driver's license checkpoint and DUI saturation patrol is now scheduled. It is scheduled for the 25th of July between the hours of 7 p.m. and 3 a.m. in the city of Ridgecrest. The Ridgecrest Police Department considers the use of DUI, driver's license checkpoints, and DUI saturation patrols effective in detecting and removing impaired drivers from the road. The checkpoint and saturation patrol are funded by a grant from the Office of Traffic Safety through the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Report drunk drivers. Call 911. For more information on this, contact Officer Nathan Lloyd at the Ridgecrest Police Department at 760-499-5100. Remember, they'll be out there tonight. In Chamber of Commerce news, don't forget that this Saturday night is their annual casino night. This year they are calling it a night of disco. This is a major fundraiser to help keep the chamber going. This year, the casino night will be at the Spring Hill Suites by Marriott. The entire hotel is slated to be turned into a disco extravaganza mixed with Las Vegas fun-style gaming. Attendees will enjoy Texas Hold'em, craps, roulette, blackjack, and more while socializing with community leaders and business owners. They expect anywhere from 100 to 150 people. They have different ways to participate. They have silver, gold, and presenting sponsor packages, and regular ticket packages as follows. Gold is just $50 per person, Platinum package is $100 per person, and the VIP admission is $150. For information and tickets, call the Chamber at 760-375-8331 or email them at chamber@ridgecrestchamber.com. Don't forget, Casino Night is this Saturday evening at Spring Hill Suites Hotel. And now a report from China Lake submitted by Stacy Bailey of the NOC-WD Public Affairs Office. The report is titled, TEDP Connects Engineers to Warfighters. Students recommend the class be mandatory. The Tactical Engineer Development Program, TEDP, curriculum at the Weapons Division has found a way to expose journey-level engineers to warfighters and their operational environment. The wealth of knowledge has students holding instructors long after scheduled class times simply because they want to learn more about how their roles impact the fleet. I came to Naval Air Warfare Center Weapons Division straight from college with no military background, so my only 2 points of reference were what my department gave me and what I've seen in movies, TEDP student Stephen Smith said. I believe a class like this should be mandatory once your engineer and scientist development program rotation is complete. It helps you find your place within the equation of warfighter support. The program, which introduced its first cohort in May, marked its halfway point on June 26th with Lieutenant Commander Matthew Cube Menza, test pilot for the U.S. Navy, speaking to the class. Menza works on base as a test pilot for the FA-18 ENF and EA-18G Growler and VX-31, and is back in China Lake for his second tour aboard Naval Air Weapons Station China Lake. We should have had this program years ago, Menza said. When I first came here in 2006, I realized some of my engineers lacked exposure to our tactics and operational environment. Classes like this help them see the bigger picture and puts them into contact. Connecting engineers to warfighters helps all of us at NOC-WD do our jobs better. The class offers extensive presentations on strike fighter tactics, naval aircraft operations, and fleet protocol. Each of the sessions is designed to provide broad information in a way that it helps students apply those lessons specifically to their respective codes. TEDP student and aerospace engineer Elise Dannenberg works with the realm of human systems integration and was surprised to find how useful the information provided was to her role at NOC-WD. Just from sitting in the class, I've identified several HSI areas that need to be looked at, Dannenberg said. In my line of work, I need to know more about the environment we're sending the warfighter into, things such as the weather, the pitch of the ship, or how and when they load the systems they're using. TEDP has helped bring that into context for me. Program lead Ian Anderson, a NOC-WD employee and former Navy officer who served tours of duty at VX-9 and VX-31, feels that there is a growing need to provide formal education to our research, development, test and evaluation workforce in the operational military environment. This need, he believes, is in part due to the small size of our armed forces relative to the rather large operational commitments and the inability to place warfighters across all areas of early program R&D. Sometimes during a program's development, a gap can emerge between the original design elements and what the warfighter actually needs. Anderson stated, that gap may be due to many factors, but can often be addressed by enhancing our RDT&E team's understanding of the operational environment by building a team of engineers and scientists broadly educated in the warfighter's perspective and conversant in the warfighter's operational language. The efficiency gained at the Weapons Division through the TEDP could save the Navy considerable time, effort, and money over making changes later on. TEDP's Cohort 1 will continue through September with a visit to Naval Air Station Lemoore Strike Fighter Weapons School, along with additional speakers from the upcoming agenda. Upon graduating, the class students will brief their division heads on the course's relevance and application to their specific projects. In news about gun purchases, I often get asked by people, what are the legal requirements to purchase a gun? And oftentimes I get questions from this about people that aren't actually wanting to buy a gun, but they're interested in how the laws affect the purchase of guns. Since we are getting quite a few new people moving into the valley due to hiring at China Lake, I figured this would be a good time to put the information out. In California, to purchase any gun, you need to have a California driver's license or a California ID card or military ID and orders assigning you to any military base in California. The other thing you'll need is a firearms safety certificate. This is a certificate that you get in any gun store. To get the certificate, you just have to take a simple 30-question test. This test is questions mostly about California laws pertaining to gun ownership. It is not a difficult test. It is comprised of 30 true and false and multiple choice questions. There are exemptions to the firearms safety certificate test requirement. Exemptions are current or retired law enforcement and military, holders of concealed carry licenses, and a couple other lesser used exemptions that are not common. So after you provide some form of ID and the firearms safety certificate, then you just pick out the gun you'd like to buy. Then the gun store initiates a background check. In California, the background check is done through the Department of Justice. The background check is a thorough check of the purchaser's past criminal history, their military service status, their mental competency, and other things that may prevent the buyer from getting the gun. Then the gun purchase is held for 10 days. After the 10 days cooling off period, the buyer can now pick up the gun. It should be noted that last year the NRA challenged the 10-day cooling off period law and won the case. The California court ruled the 10-day wait was unconstitutional, especially if the purchaser already owns firearms. If the purchaser had intent to harm someone with a gun and already owned a gun, then why would they want to go out, purchase a gun for bad intentions? The ruling has not been implemented due to the California Attorney General, Kamala Harris, appealing the decision. The final ruling on that appeal was supposed to be rendered by now, but we still wait. The 10-day cooling off period does nothing to stop anyone from committing a crime when they already have a gun. So that's a quick summary of the process to purchase a gun in California. Gun purchases are strictly controlled by the state and ATF. In KZGN's continuous effort to provide news and information on local gas prices, here are today's gas prices. Well, while generally steady, there were more slight increases in our monitoring area. As of this morning, Ridgecrest was ranging from $3.59 to $4.59, Lancaster from $3.89 to $4.39, the LA Valley area $3.99 to $4.29, and Bishop area $3.83 to $4.49. We have 4 stations coming in at the $3.59 figure. Tune in with us Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for updates. We at KZGN always suggest you shop locally to support our local economy. Remember, when you pay sales tax out of town, you are helping those cities pave their streets instead of here. Stay tuned for weather and sports when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Let's go to Keith for the weather.
Thank you, Tom. The National Weather Service is forecasting a risk of severe thunderstorms across parts of the Central Plains and Upper Midwest. Areas at greatest risk stretch from southern Nebraska and extreme northern Kansas, across northern Missouri and much of Iowa, and into southeastern Minnesota and much of Wisconsin. Temperatures across the nation: Carolinas came in at 79, Ohio 79, Georgia 83, Arkansas 86, Colorado 80, Utah 75 degrees, Arizona 87, and Los Angeles came in at 69. And for our weekend forecast for the IWV, tonight will be clear with a low around 69, west-southwest wind 5 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday will be sunny with a high near 98, south wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday night, clear with a low around 69, southwest wind 5 to 10 miles per hour with gusts as high as 15. Sunday will be sunny with a high near 99, south wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday night, clear with a low around 70, west-southwest wind 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 20. And on Monday, will be sunny with a high near 99, west wind 5 miles per hour. And that is a look at your forecast for the weekend. Now back to Tom and the rest of the KZGN News.
Thanks for the weather, Keith. Let's go to Tom Heck for sports.
And a very pleasant Friday afternoon to everyone. Let's start with the Angels. They drop a 3-0 decision to Minnesota on Thursday. That snapped their 7-game win streak. They still are playing great baseball. They're 13 games over 500. They have won their last 8 of 10 ball games. Garrett Richards took the loss. Irvin Santana, former Angel, got the win. All right, Chicago beat Cleveland. Boy, the White Sox, had they not got off to a horrific start, would be challenging right now. They're a hot team. They're only 7 games under. I say only 7 because at one time they were almost 20 games under 500. Pittsburgh beats Washington. The Pirates are 15 games over the 500 mark. They lost Jody Mercer earlier in the week, their star second baseman. That'll definitely hurt the Bucks, but they still have a lot of pitching. They have a lot of depth, and I look for them to be in the playoffs. I don't think they're going to win the Central. St. Louis is just too good and too far ahead right now. Toronto beats Oakland, Seattle over Detroit, and the Yankees beat the Orioles. Boy, the Yankees are playing well. They sweep Baltimore. The Orioles now fall into 4th place, a 6-game lead for the Yankees. The Dodgers beat the Mets 3-0. Clayton Kershaw, another shutout game. Kershaw retired the first 18 batters of this game. He had a 3-hitter. His record is now 8-6. He's won 5 straight, and he, right now, I think, is the best pitcher in Major League Baseball. He is that good. St. Louis over Kansas City, the battle of I-70 in Missouri, and Arizona beat Milwaukee out in the desert last night. All right, the Oakland A's have traded Scott Kazmir to the Astros. Kazmir is from the Houston area. Good left-handed pitcher. Struggling a little bit for Oakland, but I think that's a great deal for Houston. They only give up a couple rookies, and they give up some cash. Aramis Mariras has been signed now with the Pirates. He was traded from the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers are kind of doing a fire sale right now, giving up some of their better front-line people for some rookies or cash. Milwaukee, though, has really played well the second half of the season. They got off to a horrid start themselves and then recovered somewhat. They made a managerial change. During the year, Ron Renicky was let go, and the club has done a little bit better job here in the second half for the American League team. All right, let's talk about what's going on with the standings right now as you've got them posted. Over the American League East, the Yankees very, very good right now. As mentioned, they've got a lead over the Jays of 6.5 games, and the Rays and Orioles bringing up the rear from there. In the Central, the Royals 7 games over the Twins, even after the Twins win, and the Tigers have fallen to 3rd place in the Central. They're only 1 game over 500. The Tigers just have a hard time with consistency this season on the pitching mound. Out west, the Angels 13 games over 500. Houston and Texas trails them. Houston, the only other team in the West that has a over 500 percentage win-loss record. The Cardinals over in the National League Central are 36 games over 500. Pittsburgh and then the Cubs. The Cubs, although their season seems mediocre, for the Cubs, it's really their best season in 6 years. They're right now 7 games over 500, but probably not going to get in the playoffs. Out west, the Dodgers, Giants, and then San Diego. The Giants, I think, are going to give the Dodgers all they can get, but the Giants will probably land up as a wild card team. No problem, they did that last year, and they ended up winning the World Series. They beat Kansas City in 7 games. LA will be in New York all weekend long. The Angels will be at home against the Texas Rangers. That's your sports for this Friday afternoon. Have a good weekend. I'm Tom Heck for KZGN.
So that's the news for today. All of us at KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. We all thank you for choosing KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station. Stay with us for Ridgecrest Talk coming up next. Now check out this video of an unbelievable road.
Go on, Rob, give us a commentary. We're just we're just short of a totally, aren't we, Rob? What do you reckon? What do you reckon that drop? Oh my God!
I've not considered these doors may not be that secure.
Oh shit!
Absolutely unbelievable.
So we've now got to a stage where
word.
the roof rack's going to get stuck under the overhang. So Rinku's had to go ahead and scope out the height so we can get through with a van. It's the narrowest piece of road we've been down. The drop to the river is estimate 2,000 feet. It's just completely. What do you reckon, Rob?
I'm no good. You reckon 2,000 feet? Unbelievable.
Absolutely the maddest road I've ever been down in my life, and oh my word. Absolutely amazing.
This is so impressive.
There's a waterfall dropping hundreds of feet onto the road just round the corner. Look at that. Look at that. Ready? It's going to look good. It's going to destroy the camera. I think it's probably time for me to go inside at this stage. Are you ready? Whoa! Here we go! Oh no! Stop!